Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great Wednesday morning, that you're somewhere comfortable with a good cup of coffee. Yep, I am on my side porch this morning, and I've got my companion here. This here is my associate Wesley, and I'll be talking about him in just a minute. We will wrap up today our little discussion of the fruit of the Spirit. And the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And this morning we wrap it up with gentleness and self-control. You could do these separately. They are distinct. Gentleness is more that's more just how you use your power, harnessing your power, never using your power to harm somebody else or to bully somebody, but rather using your power to defend someone else or to defend the powerless. And self-control is more, it's self-restraint, it's self-discipline. It's controlling your anger, controlling your emotions. So they are distinct, but they're closely enough related that for our purposes we're going to do them together. And these two are fruit of the Spirit: gentleness and self-control. Gentleness is, in the King James, I think, translated as meekness. I think I probably like gentleness better, but there's not a great deal of difference between the two. But still, the idea is that not that you are weak, physically weak, but that even though you might have great power, you never use that power to bully somebody, to intimidate somebody. You never use it to advance your own purposes, but you use it to help somebody else. And Jesus himself, in the way he lived his life, exemplified that. Jesus himself, in the way he lived, exemplified gentleness. There's this song you may have heard. He could have called 10,000 angels. He had all the power in the universe at his disposal, but he didn't use it to save himself. Rather, he sacrificed himself on our behalf. It's gentleness. It's not weakness as in inability to do anything, but it's gentleness, where what power you have, you always use for the benefit of somebody else, and never to bully or to intimidate. And that is a fruit of the Spirit, as is self-control. The self-control, you're controlling your emotions, you're controlling your passions. You're not a robot, but you're not Mr. Spock from Star Trek, but you control your passions, so that you're never flying off half-cocked, as they say. Now, this here is Wesley. He's my buddy, and I'm going to use him as an object lesson. Okay, Wesley, you're going to be famous this morning, okay, dog? Wesley is a Great Pyrenees, and as the name implies, this breed was originated in the Pyrenees Mountains of Europe, and they were bred initially to be sheepdogs. They were bred to guard the herds of sheep and goats, whatever. They're in the mountains, and the idea was that you leave 2 or 3 of these big dogs with your sheep and your goats, and they keep watch over them, and they'll drive off predators. And they've been used as livestock guard dogs ever since. Here's the thing about these Great Pyrenees, and Wesley he's a big dog, but he's not big by their standards. They are incredibly strong dogs. They're incredibly strong dogs. You don't walk one of these rascals, they walk you. You give give Wesley a steak bone, he doesn't gnaw on it, he crunches it up and eats it. They're incredibly strong dogs. They have incredibly strong bite force, one of the strongest bite forces of any dog breed. But for as big and as strong as they are, here's the thing. They are, amongst dog breeds, one of the breeds that is least likely to bite you. So you've got this 100-pound dog that is really strong, that can crunch through steak bones and eat them, but who also is among the dogs that are least likely to bite somebody. They're incredibly protective. They are incredibly protective. So Wesley won't play fetch. He won't play fetch. Great Pyrenees don't train very well. They're really independent-minded. But what they are is they're incredibly sweet, incredibly strong, and they're really, really protective. And to me, that's a pretty good object lesson for the gentleness that that is described as being a fruit of the Spirit. That's a pretty good object lesson. That this dog that it wouldn't bite a toddler, would not hurt a toddler. You could leave your 2-year-old with one of these rascals and feel perfectly safe. Is also, in terms of size and strength, perfectly capable of mauling a pit bull. They're really strong and powerful dogs, but they are incredibly gentle and loving dogs. We love our Wesley, and he is not without his faults, but to me, that's a pretty good object lesson for gentleness. It's not weakness, it's not inability to do anything, but rather gentleness. It's using your strength and harnessing your strength not to benefit yourself and not to bully anybody else, but always using your strength to defend the defenseless, to protect the powerless. And that is a fruit of the Spirit. As we wrap up our fruit of the Spirit, I'll remind you that these are fruit. They're not things that we work for, not things that we try to attain, but rather they naturally flow from being connected to Christ. They naturally flow from a life that is filled with the Spirit. When we are filled with the Spirit, we will naturally demonstrate these fruit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Our lives will naturally demonstrate them. Apple trees don't work hard to produce apples. Lemon trees don't work hard to produce lemons. It just naturally comes. Apples, the lemons, oranges just naturally result from the tree being watered and the tree being healthy. And as we are nourished by the Spirit and nourish ourselves in the Spirit and in God's Word, we naturally display these fruit. And if these fruit are not on display in my life or anyone else's life, if these fruit aren't on display, then we've got good reason to question whether the Spirit really is alive in us. Yes, Wesley, you're a good dog. Yeah, I love Great Pyrenees. Big dogs with a uber strong protective instinct that are very, very unlikely to bite anybody. That's about as good as you can get, even though he can't fetch. Just a couple of things that I'll mention. If you watch this on YouTube any at all, you like the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. And also, I am open to suggestions for where we go next on our few minutes each Wednesday morning Just in the comments, give me a suggestion or two. Can't promise that I'll do it, but I'd appreciate some suggestions for particular books of the Bible or particular topics. So anyway, I hope you all have a great Wednesday, and I think it's time for me to feed this big dog. Have a great day.